Hi everybody, welcome to Sam Hawkins Unique Jewellery. This is my first go at doing a how-to video, so please be kind, like and subscribe, and I'll bring you more up-to-date videos as I go through each of my projects. Straight into the video then, so I've got my gold here and I'm going to now make it into 3 rough ring shapes using the half round pliers, ready for them to be soldered. So now I've got my rough ring shapes, it's time for soldering. So here I am applying a bit of flux into the join to allow the solder to flow freely. Then I'm adding on my piece of solder. Now I've got my solder in the right place, I will begin to heat up the piece using my torch. Once the solder's flowed nicely, I'll then put it into the pickle pot, or the pickle bath some people call it, to get rid of all the nastiness effectively. Once it's sitting in the pickle bath, I start to get my wood prepped. So here we have kingwood, and the other piece on the other side is masur birch. I cut these down to the rough shape and size I want, and then it's ready to put them in the steamer. Now the pieces of wood are put into the steamer effectively to make them more pliable. If you tried to bend them around into a bentwood ring shape before you steam them, they would probably just break and snap off. So give these a good steam for 20 minutes and then wrap them and leave them overnight to dry. Now I've got the rings out of the pickle bath and they're all cleaned up. I put them on my mandrel and use a rawhide hammer to bash them into a exact circular shape. The next stage then is to file off any excess solder on your joints on the inside and the outside, which can take a few minutes. Gave the pieces another quick bash on the old mandrel just to make sure when you're filing sometimes you can bend them out of shape a little bit, so just get them back to the round shape, and now that's me just testing out to see if all the sizes are fitting correctly. So the next stage then, using a bit of beeswax to make sure my saw blade's nice and lubricated, is I cut little grooves and channels on the outside of the ring to make sure that the wood sticks to the surface. That's the gold fully prepped, so it's off to the assay office in London to be hallmarked, and there it is, back from the assay office, all fully marked up. So what I did there is I unwrapped the wood that we previously steamed, so now you can see it's in a nice round shape. Next job is to mark up the ring to see where we're going to stick them in place. I apologise for the next part of the video because the cat knocked the camera slightly, so I am slightly out of focus, but you'll get the gist of what I'm doing. So I've just finished up gluing one side of the ring, and you'll see me now just cut off the excess with a saw. So I just sprayed a bit of activator spray there to make sure the glue is cured properly, and now I'm filing away any excess glue that's left over. So the next stage now is to glue the other side of the wood. It's quite a delicate process because you need to make sure they're both lined up really accurately so there's no seam effectively between the two pieces of wood. So I cut the excess off on the other side of the ring as well, and now it's down to filing. I could have sped this up by doing it on the lathe, but I was in the front room with family, so I'd spent most of the time in there doing it. So next step is on the lathe. I've been going through the grits here from the coarse all the way down to a really fine to get a really nice finish on the wood. So the last step there you didn't see, it was just slightly off camera, but I basically applied a little bit of oil just to give the wood a really nice finish. So although I've already soldered this ring, I'm now annealing it again because it needs to be slightly larger to fit over the wood that I've just applied to the other piece. In case you're wondering, those pictures in the background are from my daughter. She often gives me pictures that I stick up around the workshop. But what I'm doing here is basically stretching the ring to fit over the piece of wood, and I'm constantly testing and adjusting to make sure I get the most accurate fit, which you'll see now. So it's quite important that the fit is quite tight. You don't want to leave any gaps in there. So what I failed to record was me marking this up and sawing most of it, but I managed to get the end where the two pieces come apart. So So the next step is gluing the outer pieces on. This is a tricky process, I would say. You need to be pretty quick because the glue does set pretty quickly, and if you get it wrong you end up getting things stuck in places you don't want to be stuck. So what you just saw there was me basically gluing the other two pieces on in fast time. So the next stage is back on the lathe, going through the grits again to make sure you get a smooth finish across all of the surfaces. So the next bit that I'm doing here is I'm basically using a very small burr to go through, and if there's any imperfections in any of the gluing areas, I'm just taking them out and then re-gluing them to make sure you've got a real nice smooth finish, which is basically crystal clear. Final stage here really is to do a quick pre-polish on all the areas. I didn't video me doing the whole ring, but any gold areas I've basically given it another pre-polish. So now it's back on the lathe and I'm going to give it a final burnish using burnishing cream, which gives it a really nice finish. And that's pretty much it. That is the ring complete. I hope you liked the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, queries or anything like that you want me to answer, please put it in the comments below. I'll leave a link in the description to my website and my Etsy page. Please check it out, there's loads of products on there, and feel free to contact me for anything custom. Thank you very much.